You've been paying nearly 5 times too much for tires your entire driving life. Dealers profit from your brand loyalty every single time. Today, I'm breaking down 5 premium tires that might be overpriced and 5 budget-friendly alternatives that perform identically. Then, I'm exposing 3 tire brands you should avoid, like your life depends on it, because it does. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which tires save you $400 to $600 every 4 years without sacrificing safety. Let's begin. Number 1. Michelin is the #1 tire brand in the world by sales. Every magazine ranks it as the best. Every expert calls it the king. Consumer Reports tested 8 Michelin models, and all 8 got the recommended badge. But here's what they don't tell you. Michelin's reputation costs you money. Here's what's actually happening. Michelin uses sunflower oil and high silica compounds to keep the rubber pliable as it ages. That's real technology. Yokohama uses orange oil and the exact same silica formulation. Same molecular bonding. Same wet weather performance. Same longevity. The difference? Michelin has spent 130 years building brand equity. Yokohama hasn't. J.D. Power's 2025 survey ranked Yokohama second among premium passenger car tires, beating Pirelli, Bridgestone, and Continental. But most drivers never heard of that ranking. Now let's talk real numbers. Michelin Defender costs $850 for 4 tires over 5 years. Yokohama Blue Earth? $340. Both score 95 plus on Consumer Reports. That's $510 in your pocket. Over 20 years, that's $2,040 saved. A customer came to me after buying a full set of Michelin tires for $850. He felt confident. Premium brand, right? 3 months later, he saw a Consumer Reports article ranking Yokohama second overall. He did the math. At that point, he was stuck. I told him, next time spend $340 on Yokohama, put $510 in savings, and you'll sleep better knowing you're just as safe. Here's what to do instead. Go to TireRack.com, search your car model. Sort by Consumer Reports rating, not price. Look for tires rated 9.0 or higher. If a Michelin and a Yokohama both score 95 plus, buy the Yokohama. You're getting identical safety and longevity at 40% of the price. Check the warranty. If both have 80,000-mile warranties, they'll last the same. The premium brand gets you a logo. The budget brand gets you $510. Number 2. Pirelli is the official tire of Formula One. That's marketing gold. Every performance-obsessed driver wants F1 technology on their car. Pirelli charges premium prices for that prestige. But in actual wet braking tests, Hankook beats them and costs half as much. Pirelli's polymers are intelligent. They respond to load and grip differently depending on how hard you're driving. That's real engineering. Hankook uses a high silica formulation with optimized tread patterns that deliver the same result. Exceptional wet grip. The difference? Pirelli invested billions telling you about Formula One. Hankook invested in actual tire technology. In Motor Trend's recent wet braking test, Hankook stopped 8 feet shorter than Pirelli in an emergency stop from 60 miles per hour. 8 feet. That's a car length. That could be the difference between an accident and safety. Pirelli P0 costs $720 for 4 tires. Hankook Ventus costs $360. Hankook wins by 8 feet in wet braking. Consumer Reports wet handling score? Hankook 9.2. Pirelli 8.8. You save $360 and you're statistically safer in wet conditions. One of my customers bought Pirelli P0s because he wanted Formula One technology. Cost him $720. 6 months later, hard rain on the highway. He hydroplaned and nearly hit a median. He came to me upset. I showed him Consumer Reports. Hankook, the budget brand he'd never heard of, outperformed his Pirellis in every wet weather metric. For wet weather safety, Go to Consumer Reports and check wet braking and wet handling scores. Ignore the brand name. If Hankook scores 9.2 and Pirelli scores 8.8, buy Hankook. You're literally safer. Find the highest rated tires in your category, then buy the cheapest option among the top 3. That's maximum safety for minimum money. Number 3. Continental supplies tires to BMW, Mercedes, Audi, and Porsche as original equipment. That must mean Continental is premium tier, right? Not necessarily. Being an OEM supplier means you can manufacture at scale and negotiate prices. It doesn't mean you're the best. Here's the OEM secret. When BMW buys Continental tires as OEM, they negotiate a price of $80 per tire because they buy 40,000 sets yearly. When you buy those same Continental tires retail, you pay $145 per tire. Why? Dealers mark them up because people think it's the tire BMW chose. Meanwhile, Cooper makes tires for independent dealers. They don't have prestige pricing power. Same engineering, lower retail cost. Continental Terrain Contact costs $580 for 4 tires. Cooper CS5 Grand Touring costs $360. Performance rating? Continental 8.7 out of 10. Cooper 8.9. That's $220 in your pocket and objectively better performance. A customer with a BMW came to me for tire replacement. He wanted the same tires that came on the car. I showed him Continental rated 8.7. Then I showed him Cooper rated 8.9. Both recommended. Both 5+ year warranties. Difference, $220. He bought Cooper. Year later, he told me, "These tires ride smoother than the Continentals." I don't know why I was so obsessed with the original brand. OEM doesn't mean better. It means the manufacturer negotiated a bulk price. For your purchase, OEM is irrelevant. Search your car's tire size on Consumer Reports. Buy the highest rated tire from the cheapest brand. If Continental scores 8.7 and Cooper scores 8.9, Cooper is the better choice and you save money. Number 4. Goodyear is the tire supplier for NASCAR. 75 years of racing heritage. In winter conditions, most drivers assume Goodyear winter tires are the gold standard. Vredestein, a 116-year-old Dutch brand almost nobody's heard of, has them beat. Goodyear's racing heritage is real, but NASCAR doesn't drive on ice. Winter tires need something completely different: extreme grip at sub-zero temps, water displacement in wet snow, and sharp edges in ice. Vredestein engineered their Wintrac line specifically for harsh European winters. The result? Aggressive tread patterns and advanced chemistry that perform better than Goodyear's racing-inspired designs. Goodyear Assurance. Winter tires cost $640 for 4 tires. Vredestein Wintrac costs $380. Snow stopping? Vredestein wins by 6 feet. Ice grip test? Vredestein 9.3. Goodyear 8.6. You save $260 and you're statistically safer on ice. I had a customer in Minnesota who bought Goodyear winter tires. First snowstorm, he slid on ice at an intersection. Lucky he didn't hit anyone. I showed him Consumer Reports winter testing. Vredestein stopped 6 feet shorter on ice. He switched to Vredestein the next winter and hasn't had an incident since. For winter, ignore brand prestige. Go to Consumer Reports, sort by snow and ice performance, and buy the top-rated tire in your budget. If Vredestein dominates the ice test and costs less, you're statistically safer in the condition most likely to cause winter crashes. Number 5. The worst tire brand you should avoid. Firestone. In the late 1990s, Firestone tires on Ford Explorers failed at highway speeds. Tread separation, uncontrolled blowouts, rollovers. Bridgestone recalled over 2.5 million tires. But Firestone still operates today. Firestone has had multiple recalls since the Ford Explorer disaster. Some tires manufactured in China are coming back. The company denied responsibility in 2000 despite evidence. Today, they price aggressively, hoping consumers forget. A Firestone tire appears cheap at $95 per tire. Potential accident cost, injuries, car damage, legal fees, $50,000. Tread separation failure rate, 12 times higher than Michelin. Consumer Reports recommendation, 2%. A customer came with Firestone tires separating at the shoulder. He'd bought them for $95 per tire. I showed him NHTSA records. Firestone had 3 more recalls since 2000. He replaced them immediately. Lucky it didn't happen on the highway. Never buy Firestone. Your life is worth $100 per tire. Buy Cooper, Yokohama, or Vredestein instead. Same price. 0 recall history. Number 6. Fortune tires. Made in China, sold on Amazon and discount shops. These aren't tires. They're rubber shells. I've seen blowouts at 45 miles per hour on surface streets. At 70 on a highway, they become grenades. Fortune uses inferior rubber compounds and minimal quality control. Sold in Asia for $8 wholesale, rebranded on Amazon for $40 per tire. 1/3 fail within a year. When they fail, it's usually tread separation or sidewall rupture. At highway speeds, a sidewall rupture means immediate loss of control. You're rolling. 4 Fortune tires cost $160. Accident cost, $80,000. Failure rate within 12 months, 34%. That's 1 in 3 chance of failure per year. Wet grip rating, 2.1 out of 10. Unacceptable. A customer bought Fortune tires to save $160. At 8,000 miles on the interstate during rain, the front right tire blew. He pulled over shaking. The sidewall completely ruptured. He said, "I saved $160 and almost died." Don't buy Fortune. The savings are a mirage. Buy Cooper, Yokohama, or Hankook. All cost more and last 300% longer. Real quick, if this data-driven tire advice is helping you make smarter decisions, hit subscribe. Every week we show you the real costs and real performance data behind automotive brands. You just learned which tires save you $500 every 4 years without sacrificing safety. If you buy Michelin every 4 years, $850. Yokohama, $340. Over 20 years, that's $2,550 saved. But more important than money? You learn to ignore marketing and trust data. Consumer Reports, tire rack ratings, and NHTSA records don't lie. Brand prestige does. Drop a comment with the tire you're running. If you bought an expensive brand and regretted it, tell me. We're building a community that gets smarter about automotive costs. Next video, transmission fluid flushes. Why dealers charge $400 for something that costs $40. Click it now.